So in order to stay in England, while my wife was in the military, I got married over in Germany. She was in the military. We moved to England. And during Iran-Contra was when I was racing. Well, it turns out she was one of the people in the pipeline for supplying weapons to Saddam Hussein in Iraq and the Shah of Iran for the Reagan-Bush White House. And turns out the Bushes and the Kissingers and the NATO generals were stealing the weapon stockpiles from NATO and giving them to Iran and Iraq in order to create these wars, including wars against the United States straight out of Operation Northwest. So we didn't know any of that, but we blew the whistle to Congress. My wife did. She had the guts to do that. I helped her write the reports, 1,000 pages of reports to Congress. We got 3 investigations by the Inspector General, 100-page report. Got some commanding officers fired. Got the 4-star general fired during Operation Desert Storm while he was leading Desert Storm in Iraq. General Mike Dugan, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force at the Pentagon, former commander of USAFE in Europe. At the time of our Inspector General complaints, we caught the Inspector General lying to Congress 3 times, and that head started to roll. That was back when Congress actually had a little bit of authority in this country. Now it's pretty much just a dictatorship. Whether it's dictator George W. Bush, dictator George Bush Sr., dictator Bill Clinton, dictator Hussein Obama Sotoro, Congress now has no power. They pass legislation without reading it. Not allowed to read it. If they question things too much, their airplane crashes, they all die, their family dies, they get a bullet in the head. You know, that's the real world. Gangster government. Criminals are in charge, the psychopaths are in charge. Anybody who looks at history, investigates it for themselves. It's crystal clear. Read a college textbook on criminology. It'll tell you the purpose of the police has always been to control crime, to work hand in hand with crime, to give license to organized crime, and take out the opposition while leaving their protected criminal informants intact to continue their criminal activities with immunity from the government. That works at the local level, national level. So anyway, my life has taught me that you do have power over your situation. You can change it, you can move somewhere else, but the crap's going to follow you. The government corruption is everywhere. You're never going to get away from it. You got to deal with it. If you're a business owner, just a citizen trying to travel from A to B while the communist, fascist police state death squads track your every move. If you have a cell phone, they track everywhere you go. You have email, they read every single email you send. You have a cell phone, they record every single phone call you ever make. They even do that with your regular phone through the telephone hubs. Government doesn't have a license, doesn't have authority. The government doesn't have constitutional authority to require a so-called driver's license internal passport, which you can't even buy cough syrup at Walmart now without showing your driver's license. Has nothing to do with driving. General Colin Powell, when he was Secretary of State, said the purpose of the Social Security system, besides taxing us to death, is to track us and kill us if needed. That's what his job was in Iraq, was to give everybody a number and track them down and kill them. No trial, no investigation, no lawyer, no arrest. You just kill them on the spot. That's how our government operates. That's what we're doing to world leaders all around the place now. We just go in and kill them. No trial. Never mind they're on the payroll of the CIA at the time. Never mind they died 10 years previously, and it's just all lies. So now I'm getting training in the most powerful weapon of mass destruction ever invented. Communications media. Television, radio, print, internet. Now I've got a radio show on WBCR 1470 AM in Alcoa, Tennessee. Covered 2 or 3 states, a dozen counties, live internet around the world. Got my own TV show on public access in Knox County and parts of Blount County, on Comcast Channel 12, Charter Channel 6, Knowledge Channel 6, ATT and Uverse Channel 99, called Pirate News. We cover all different topics. Besides broadcasting the radio show, we occasionally fly out to Los Angeles, cover a 9/11 Truth press conference with Charlie Sheen and Alex Jones and a dozen college professors and 9/11 survivors. Cover motorsports, auto racing, motorcycle tourism in Blount County at the Dragon at Dills Gap, world famous. 4 Hollywood movies and have been made up there, and 2 television shows on Discovery and Travel Channel have been broadcast from Dills Gap this month. And they were wanting to use some of my footage for those shows. Since I've started my little public access TV show and websites, I've been featured on History Channel, attacked personally by NBC News anchor Lester Holt in the TV show broadcast every month, 9/11 Conspiracies, Fact or Fiction.
County Airport confirmed the crash of a large plane.
Val titled her photo, "End of Serenity." Little did she know, the serenity in her own life was about to end too.
If you Google my name, I come up as a total fraud.
She's become a target of bloggers who say the photograph is a fake. Val says that 9/11 conspiracists have harassed her with emails and phone calls. They believe Flight 93 was shot down as part of a government conspiracy and accuse Val of being part of it.
I feel that some of these people have entirely too much time on their hands and they need to get a life.
Where I reported that Lt Col Rick Gibney of the North Dakota Air National Guard confessed that he shot down United Airlines Flight 93 on September 11, 2001. That it was hijacked by remote control, as confessed by the Pentagon in Operation Northwoods. I've won 2 awards in Hollywood, Los Angeles Music Awards and the LA Indies Awards for Best Music Video, documentary, We Never Went to the Moon, a song by UFOetry and Josh Poet. I've been featured on Asahi TV for my 9/11 research, which was also required reading for senior level university political science studies in North Carolina, I believe. I spent a lot of time up there on assignment, remote assignment, investigating the corruption out in Blount County. It's quite interesting. Study the Battle of Athens, Tennessee, 1946, 1947, and you'll see how the people were supposed to stand up to a crooked local government. Even Eleanor Roosevelt talked about it when she was in the White House. It sent shockwaves through the crooked, criminal, treasonous establishment. They're terrified of the public. The crooks in government know they're just one step away from arrest on any given day. And they live their whole lives like that. They enjoy that. They enjoy the thrill of getting away with a crime and not going to jail. Occasionally they get caught like Bernie Madoff, who founded the NASDAQ Stock Exchange, who says the entire United States government is a Ponzi scheme. He stole $150 billion, more than every other crook in the United States combined. And yet that's only a 10,000th as much crime as the private foreign Federal Reserve Bank does against the United States by counterfeiting every so-called dollar bill, which is actually a Federal Reserve debt note, and keeps every penny of the federal income tax, which is unconstitutional. There's no law requiring you to pay it. They just have the guns, and they'll kill you if you don't pay it in certain circumstances. I don't pay taxes. I don't pay income tax. I do get ripped off on my Social Security tax a little bit. I do get ripped off on my sales tax. I do get ripped off on my gas tax and lots of other taxes, property taxes. So who am I? Just a guy trying to figure it out. Trying to do the right thing without finishing last. Good guys finish last is the old myth. You do have to be asshole enough to survive. You do have to be tough enough to survive, smart enough to survive, brave enough to survive. You can hide in a hole and hope nothing happens to you, and that's a valid tactic. Of course, that catches up with millions of people every year who get killed by their own governments. 100 million babies have been murdered by the United States government since genocide was legalized in Roe v. Wade back in '73. Planned Parenthood has been paid over $1 billion US tax dollars to murder successfully, to genocide 100 million American babies, American US citizens. What country can withstand? Over half of all black kids now are murdered before they're born by the federal government. Where's the Holocaust? Where's the outrage? You know, what kind of world do we live in? What kind of world do you want to live in? You know, the world's a beautiful, amazing place. I enjoy it every chance I get. But there's bad things coming down the road. I'm just a canary in a coal mine. The hell that we've unleashed in Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Yugoslavia, Somalia, Germany, Japan, Eastern Europe, Communist China. That hell's coming to America. It came here 150 years ago with the so-called U.S. Civil War, which basically created the federal dictatorship, made everybody a slave. Did you know that the first slaves bought and sold on the auction block in America were whites, not blacks, stripped naked? After the U.S. Civil War, white slaves were liberated from the plantations. Did you know that? Did they teach you that in school? Did school teach you that the Federal Reserve Bank is private, that the U.S. government does not print money since 1913, and that the 6 presidents who went against the private Federal Reserve Bank and similar private central banks all got assassinated or attempted assassinations? Did your school tell you that? Did your teacher tell you that? Did your TV news anchor tell you that? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. It's just an adventure. We'll see where it goes.